The entire world is talking about artificial intelligence, and everywhere you look, you will be able to see a government, billionaire, or business owner frantically preparing for a world where robots are smarter than humans. And all of this is happening because of this one application that changed the world in 2022. Of course, we're talking about ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
A new artificial intelligence tool is going viral.
Type in a request and it can write legal documents, software, even school essays.
Revolutionary new language model.
ChatGPT.
Artificial intelligence has been around for over 10 years now, but the reason it is going absolutely parabolic over on the Google search term trends is all because of this one application called ChatGPT. If you have been living under a rock and you weren't aware, ChatGPT has become the fastest growing technology and software company in the history of the world. It only took them 5 days for them to grow from 0 to 1 million users. That smashed all sorts of records that were previously held by some of the biggest technology companies that we all use on a daily basis. Today, of course, we're talking about Instagram. They only took 75 days to hit 1 million users. However, the artificial intelligence craze has only accelerated as ChatGPT also went on to become the fastest growing application to reach 100 million users. Again, smashing records that were previously held by TikTok. It only took them 9 months to reach 100 million users, and Instagram 30 months is how long it took Instagram, one of the most popular social media companies. But what's even more frightening than any of that is the fact that ChatGPT's newest model, 4.0, just got released, and it's 1,000 times better than the previous models of ChatGPT that broke all of these records. And OpenAI founder Sam Altman actually said this about ChatGPT 4 in his recent interview with Lex Fridman.
Do you think this is a pivotal moment? Like out of all the versions of GPT 50 years from now, when they look back at an early system that was really kind of a leap, in a Wikipedia page about the history of artificial intelligence, which of the GPTs would they put?
Well, the history books write about GPT 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 7. If I had to pick some moment from what we've seen so far, I'd sort of pick ChatGPT.
That's right. When they think the history books are going to be written, ChatGPT 4 will be a very pivotal inflection point, and that is because of how it's going to change everything, okay? We have articles like this that say that machines are going to be doing more tasks than humans by 2025. We have other articles like this one that says nearly half of all the current jobs today will be automated by 2055. And then we also have a study like this one that shows us the numbers of just how many jobs could be eliminated by 2030. This one shows that over 200 million jobs in China is going to be automated, and 70 million jobs in the US is going to be gone, completely automated by robots by the year of 2030. And artificial intelligence and ChatGPT is only one very small portion of how this global economy and the future of work is going to change over the coming years, okay? Many are actually describing the digitization of society as the 5th industrial revolution that is going to transform our economy, okay? Over the past 250 years, we've seen 5 industrial revolutions that have transformed everything. In the 1770s, we got the first industrial revolution with the launch of the steam engine. 50 years later, we got the invention of steel. 50 years after then, we got electricity. Then we had automobiles. Then we had the invention of the microprocessor in the 1960s. And this is the tail end of the digitization revolution that we have been living through. And lots of people are scared. Every time we have one of these revolutions, it transforms the entire economy. So obviously the steam engine made all of the horse and carriages absolutely useless in the 1770s. And the same way steel made all of the wood buildings absolutely useless in the 1800s. And obviously we all know that the automobile made all of the horses absolutely useless in the early 1900s. And now people are saying, well, hang on a minute, this is a little bit scary, because is artificial intelligence going to make humans absolutely useless? Well, it's a possibility if you don't take advantage of the trend. And today I'm going to show you guys how to actually take advantage of artificial intelligence, how everybody should be incorporating it into their own life and own businesses. But to do all of that, we need to quickly cover the basics and actually learn about ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. So what is AI? AI is simply a technology that enables robots and machines to do the same things that humans do. Very simple. There is 3 types of artificial intelligence. We have narrow artificial intelligence. This is very simple, and this is an example of what ChatGPT is, okay? Then we have the second type of artificial intelligence. This is the one that lots of people are scared of, and this is artificial general intelligence. We haven't created this yet. And the reason that ChatGPT is only a narrow artificial intelligence is because it only specializes in one area, okay? This is very different to an artificial general intelligence machine because this classification refers to a type of AI that is as smart as a human in lots of different areas, okay? Not just one, which is what obviously ChatGPT is. It's only good at searching data, okay? It's not good at doing lots of other things. So there are 2 classifications of artificial intelligence, then there's a third. The third type of artificial intelligence is what people like Elon Musk and Nick Bostrom are absolutely terrified of. That is an artificial super intelligence. And this is a type of artificial intelligence that is better than a human in every single field of intelligence that we are measuring. So we're going to get into the different types of artificial intelligence later on into today's video, and we're going to be talking about all the very scary possibilities of AGI and a super intelligence computer. But let's first break down what ChatGPT is, okay? We're going to use this thing in our businesses. We need to understand what it is, okay? Now, all a ChatGPT is, the GPT simply stands for Generative Pre-Training Transformer. So all that's telling you is it is generating responses from its pre-trained knowledge. All the ChatGPT is it searches the web and it's essentially read everything online, and it is just generating you a response. Okay, now that's the nerdy answer of what ChatGPT is. I want to actually show you what it is. So we can see here that ChatGPT does very simple things very well. So I asked it here to write me a 500-word essay about Bitcoin, and bingo bango, Bob's your uncle. It just wrote me a 500-word essay about Bitcoin, but it also handles more complicated things. So I also asked ChatGPT, can you write me 10 catchy and attention-grabbing YouTube titles for a video about the 2023 bank run and why it could lead to a global financial crisis 2.0 with a call to action at the end of the video? And ChatGPT did just that, okay? This thing is phenomenal. But ChatGPT isn't the only artificial intelligence tool. There are literally hundreds of different artificial intelligence tools being made by all sorts of different companies all around the world who are trying to fight to control the monopoly on this new emergent technology. Now, I don't have the time to break down all of these tools in today's video, but I did touch on all of them in a recent article that I'm going to link down below into today's video. So you can simply read that one today if you want to learn more, or you can wait for next week's video on artificial intelligence. But moving on, let's talk more about how we're transitioning away from an industrial society workforce to an information-based society workforce, okay? This is the biggest transition in how we are going to work as humans in 250 years, okay? In the 1770s, at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, that was the first time in thousands of years that humans from all around these villages, all around the world, moved into the cities to work on these large machines and factories that were being built out at scale. And for the past 250 years, human civilization has been centralizing and moving to live in these large cities and hubs where all the jobs are, okay? And today, the hubs like London and New York have some of the best opportunities in the world because that's where all the people are congregating. But artificial intelligence, as well as a lot of these other digital technologies that we are watching being adopted at a breakneck pace today, is changing the future of work. I believe for the first time in 250 years, people no longer have to congregate in these huge cities to get some of the best paying jobs in the world. We can see today that there are over 35 million digital nomads all around the world who are working from remote locations and have left their local country to do so, okay? We can see here that the number of digital nomads has grown from only 7 million people in 2019 to today being over 30 million people. That means that every year we've been seeing around a 30 to 40% increase in the number of people who are leaving their local government and country and instead choosing to work remotely overseas. What we can also see from these images is where these digital nomads are coming from. What country are the people leaving. And I think it's very interesting here to see that over 50% of the digital nomads around the world actually come from America. And that is because of a multitude of reasons. The reason that tens of millions of people from all around the world are ditching their local country and becoming a digital nomad is because of these three radical technologies that are currently being adopted today. Of course, we're talking about artificial intelligence, which is going to change the way we think about work. We're talking about the internet, which is going to change the way we think about information and communication. And last but not least, of course, we're talking about Bitcoin, which is going to change the way we think about money. And all of these trends are combining today in the 21st century. And these technologies combined are probably the most humanitarian technologies in history. I think it will lead to the separation of money and state, the same way that the Gutenberg printing press led to the separation of church and state in the 1500s. Yes, it is that big. So technology is the main reason why our world is going to change so dramatically. And it is the thing that is making governments really obsolete today in the 21st century. And this is why they're reacting in such a dramatic fashion. And the second reason that I believe is going to actually create a massive exodus of people leaving their local countries and wanting to become a digital nomad is government madness. So obviously here we can see in California, over 300,000 people are leaving the state of California every single year. I'm not going to get into every single reason why the people are fed up with California, but you guys probably get the idea. They have the highest tax rates in the entire nation, and they're doing all sorts of really strange and Orwellian things that we're not going to get into in today's video. But I'm another living example of somebody trying to escape government madness. I left Australia over 16 months ago, and I am never going back to that country or giving them another dollar of my tax money for the way that they treated me between 2020 and 2022. And I'm not alone. I'm not so radical in that thought. There are millions of people around the world ditching their local government. The third reason of why we're going to see such a dramatic rise in digital nomads is simple economics. Governments all around the world today are currently more indebted than they were during the World War II. And guess what that means? When a government is bankrupt, they're going to have to become increasingly tyrannical. And governments are not like you or I. They don't simply default on their debt when they have too much debt. What governments do is they become increasingly tyrannical to try and pay down their debt with other people's money. So what they do is they raise taxes really high, and they print a lot of money out of thin air, which devalues the money that we all use and we all save in. And that is why inflation is so high all around the world today. That is because governments today all around the world have increasingly large amounts of debt, and more than we held 80 years ago at the conclusion of that long-term debt cycle in the 1940s. So look out, governments are going to become more tyrannical with their capital controls and their economic systems. So guess what that's going to mean? More people are going to want to opt out. We can also see here that a consequence of them devaluing their money and inflating all of these massive asset bubbles as they try to combat their enormous debt loads is houses are becoming far too expensive. And this is why here you can see that home ownership rates are in a massive decline. This is just another reason that is incentivizing people to leave their local country and government and instead go and actually live on the road and rent, as opposed to paying these enormous mortgages on these properties. So let's begin to wrap this thing up. Okay, this image here shows how many trillions of dollars of potential capital is going to flow in and flow out of each respective economy around the world. AI is going to change absolutely everything, and ChatGPT, it's cool, it's cute, it's transformative, it's going to change things, but I don't think it's going to lead to an artificial general intelligence yet. I don't think ChatGPT alone is going to take away all of our jobs into the future, but something that just came out earlier this week called AutoGPT could potentially do that. And I'm going to do a video next week on why AutoGPT has actually changed my mind surrounding an artificial general intelligence, okay? Right now, we only have narrow artificial intelligence. Narrow artificial intelligence isn't an existential risk for our civilization yet, but artificial general intelligence could potentially be that. So in next week's video, we're going to be talking about what AutoGPT is and why it is growing at an even faster rate than ChatGPT. So how do you survive and thrive in this new technological revolution? You need to adopt the new technologies. You need to adapt. Otherwise, you're going to die. So Bitcoin, the internet, and artificial intelligence are going to absolutely change the world. If you need help learning about Bitcoin or simply buying or storing some Bitcoin, you can reach out to us over at Coinbase Connect. We are a Bitcoin only educational company who powers this YouTube channel. And you can check out our amazing show sponsors linked in the description of today's video who will help you buy Bitcoin and store Bitcoin safely and correctly. And with all that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, slap a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.